Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I just woke up a couple minutes ago. It's Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. How are y'all doing? How are y'all feeling? How'd you wake up this morning? I woke up pretty good. I feel relaxed. I feel at peace. You know, there's those days where you wake up and you feel like relaxed. There's no tension, there's no stress, no anxiety at all from the moment you wake up. And as you progress throughout the day, you feel genuinely good. When I have those days, I feel great. Don't get me wrong, it feels amazing. And the moment you wake up, obviously, to when you go about your day, you always have to make sure that, you're always in a positive mindset. You seek to align yourself in a correct path. And as you progress throughout the day, don't allow other people that are in a spiraling loop of negativity and chaos, interfere with you. But it also comes to the mind that you probably wish you would feel like that every single day. But the reality of the situation is you will not feel like that every single day. And unfortunately, that's just, how it is. As humans, we're not perfect. If we were perfect, life would be a whole lot better. But unfortunately, that is not the case. You go through life in certain situations and circumstances, and you pretty much think that, am I destined to just go through this? Am I not destined to go through better? Or is my life ultimately going to change because I just see myself going in circles, or I'm not really progressing towards my goals? And it really comes down to internal and external factors, I would say. External factors being, groups, people that are around you, or other influences, or the things that could be sabotaging you, delaying you, derailing you from making any progression or any change in your life towards any goals or visions or dreams that you may have. Because it's hard for us as humans to admit. Everybody has egos, and everybody has pride in some way, shape, or form. It can end up getting in the way, ultimately. So, and it's a really tough thing, because eventually you have to come to terms and look yourself in the mirror and literally say, like, hey, you know what? Maybe these things are not helping me at all, and I need to eliminate and retract these habits and replace them with healthy and positive ones. And then, of course, you have your internal habits, whether it's certain habits, behaviors, or tendencies that you have cultivated that are not doing you any good, whether they're affecting you physically, mentally, emotionally. They're slowing you down, and they're causing issues in your life as far as to what you want to how you want to progress and how you want to move forward. It's very fundamental and important that you do that breakdown and analysis. I've had that many times where I've literally had to come clean and look and say, you know what, these things are not really giving me any sort of balance or any sort of value in my life, and you might have some strong attachment to them, which is normal, because us humans, we tend to have that. We have emotions, and we can sometimes garner them towards a thing or a person, our behavior or habit, and we become attached to it. But overcoming that bond that you have and removing it from your life, and altering the course of certain habits and behaviors and trajectory of where you're going is ultimately going to better you off in the longer run, ultimately. So that's the thing. Overall, I mean, you just have to keep focused and you have to keep doing your best. Every single day is it's a challenge. You have to remain focused. You can't get stressed about, the future, what's to come in the next couple of days, weeks, months. You can't get anxious about that. That day hasn't arrived yet. And you can't become anxious because no amount of anxiety, although it's very hard because a lot of people deal with that in a chronic level and it's something that's always consistent, but that's not going to change the future at all. Or the reverse, where you examine too much of the past, and you regret certain habits and behaviors you did. Because we have a dispensable metric in life, and it's time. We literally have only a finite amount. Every single second, minute, day, week, month, year, etc. that passes by, it is valuable currency, my friend, because you are not going to get that back at all. So, how much longer are you going to wait to achieve your goal? How much longer are you going to tell yourself, I'll do this the next day, I'll do this the following day, I'll do this another time? Because you really don't know how long your time is guaranteed on the face of this earth, We as humans, we sometimes get a little too comfortable. And that's what can end up really putting us at a disadvantage. That feeling of that false sense of security, that's what literally will slow you down and will obstruct your progress overall. It's those things that you have to keep in mind ultimately. Because every single person, in one way, shape, or form, they have success, victory, triumph, achievement, as well as a whole ton of other things, but everybody's perspective is different of how they assimilate and how they perceive things. But one thing is certain, your ideas and your concepts and details that you have in your mind, you should take the chance on yourself. Bet on yourself. You should do it. Because obviously, it's one thing to constantly tell yourself, well, I'm going to do it, and then I put it off for later on until eventually you don't end up doing it, and then a large lump sum of time is in the past, and then you ultimately live in deeper regret. Versus if you did it, then you're constantly learning. Because obviously, you're learning and progressing, but ultimately there is information online that you can obtain and you can acquire ultimately about certain, for example, like business models or ideas or plans or projects that you have. Because there's hundreds and thousands of these, scripts and plans that are always constantly coming out, and you see people on social media that are finding a new avenue and path of making money online. And it's really cool. It's incredible. Because, it just lets you know the internet's like infinitely expanding and people are always constantly, curious to learn more and developing these new strategies. But you have to be consistent, disciplined, and willing to continue. The road to success isn't an easy one, my friend. It is not, and it's not something that's going to happen overnight. Once you achieve and attain that level of success that you want, because obviously you have to break it down into smaller goals. You're thinking at the vastly large goal, and then obviously the other goals ahead of it, because you want to keep growing, but you have to break it down into sizable achievements. Like, for example, if you want to get to 6 figures, first, Focus on getting like 3 to 5K a month, smaller increments. And then you can work at 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K, etc. That you have to build yourself up. Because if you focus too quickly on the large goal at hand, you're going to end up getting overwhelmed and consumed, when in reality it's way much more easier if you put it into more smaller sizable increments, because therefore you're able to achieve the progress at a much easier, profound rate than just focusing on that overall massive goal. And us as humans, we tend to compare ourselves to other people. It's by nature, it's habit. I love social media. It's great. I think it's a phenomenal tool. I love the internet too. But the thing is too, because a lot of people, they get so unraveled and like trapped in these false perceptions of life. Because a lot of people, dude, you see them with this luxurious lifestyle, and you would be surprised, but a lot of these are just like, they're just posing for the camera, recording, taking pictures and recording videos. And a lot of people, they get so consumed to the point where they look at other people's success and achievement and what they've been able to do in their lifetime and what they were able to achieve at their age, and they compare it to themselves, and they feel worthless, they feel pathetic because they weren't able to do the same thing. When in reality, you need to realize that the things that you do in your life are tailored to you. They're not to anybody else. You are yourself. You are not somebody else, and nobody else is you. You're literally one of a kind. You have to take into consideration that there are so many factors in life that are ultimately different, as far as how you carry yourself, how you interact, your personality, your integrity, all those things, and vastly many others play a significant role. You can't allow yourself to be confused or engulfed in such a manner that really just derails or detracts you in any way, shape, or form. And success is embedded with failure. What I mean by that is your roadway to success, how you want to get there ultimately, you're going to have to experience failure at some point. And obviously it's something that we wish that none of us, could ever or would ever experience. But the thing is, ultimately, it's bound to happen. You're not going to be perfect on your attempts. You might have to go through a series of vastly different plans and procedures and projects ultimately before you find the one that ultimately you align with and you're able to concordantly, be consistent and progressing. Because the thing is, you're not going to get it off the first try. It's very hard and very rare. Not to say that it can't happen, but it's extremely small, extremely rare percentage that can even happen. It's like when people try to be viral, they want to go viral, have one post on social media gives them like 200,000 views or 1 million or 5 million or, a crazy amount. Like when it comes to creating content, you have to be consistent. And it's challenging too, because you have ideas, you have to come up with questions, sub-concepts, and at the beginning it's challenging, but once you find your groove and rhythm, that's what makes things so much easier. The good thing now is that with artificial intelligence, and really this is a really key moment in life, seize this opportunity, because AI is just evolving, and it's just going to continue on from here. Because, guys, who knows what the future is going to look like with artificial intelligence? I mean, now, obviously, with AI, you can use it to leverage your ideas and your businesses. I mean, whether you use ChatGPT and it can give you a list of things, you can literally, a bunch of stuff for your editing of your videos, your photos, business ideas, plans, all this other stuff, and a variety of other. You have DeepSeek, you have Artlist. There's a bunch of other of these programs I've seen online, and you can do a lot. It's important to not give up, to be consistent. You may think that your efforts are probably pointless. They're not going to work. They're insufficient. You're not going to scale to a level of success, but you have to understand. You have to keep pushing, move forward, develop a daily routine and a schedule that you follow by, and be consistent with it. Don't focus too much about the bigger picture in the future. Focus on the small incremental goals. Don't look at the overall finished puzzle piece. Focus on putting these small pieces together. It's going to add up eventually, and it's going to work out. But you just have to be consistent, and you have to be patient. Patience is a big thing, which a lot of people don't have. And you're going to be looking back on yourself in the future, grateful that you took the chances. Even though you endured failure, you endured struggle, eventually you found something that worked out, and now, you have a leverage. You have an advantage. You're progressing, you're elevating yourself. You're doing these things better. And it's all thanks to you not giving up and you being committed. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of life. You were given this opportunity for a reason. You might as well make the most out of it and do something really worth the while where you can look back and be proud on. Don't be somebody that, when the time comes and that's it, it's time for you to leave this earth, you didn't go after and achieve your dreams, and whatever they may be. You have to be committed and disciplined. Through your willingness and your integrity and a bunch more other things, you'll be able to progress and elevate yourself. It's not easy, but it's going to be possible, my friend. You got this. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. Stay safe and healthy. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good one.